Everybody, it's Steph from the Hot Moving Podcast. So the speculation and the rumors of Deion Sanders going to the Dallas Cowboys next season is picking up a lot of steam, man. And I've touched on this the last time I talked about Deion Sanders in terms of like this specific job. Is like, why? You know, I mean, I get it. He's played there. Does he have a good relationship with Jerry Jones? Sure. Okay, but I mean, Deion Sanders, is he really going to be the savior for this team? You know what I'm saying? I've said this before too. Is that, look, man, I think Deion Sanders, if anything, I don't see him staying at Colorado. Deion Sanders has been saying all the right things, but I think he's going to leave for a bigger school. You know, I mean, after all the athletes at wide receiver bounce, all the skills that guys bounce, his son Travis, I mean, you know, Jimmy Horn, you know, Shepard, all those guys. I mean, they're going to the NFL. You know, so the talent resource will be depleted. Will he have a good recruiting class or a good transfer portal if he does decide to stay at Colorado, which at this point is going to be 100% his decision? You know, time will tell if that's where he truly wants to stay. But I mean, he is Prime, right? And look, if Prime wants the big lights and everything, man, I don't think it's Dallas. Not at all, man. I think it's going to a bigger college with more resources and money. And probably can pay him a lot more than any NFL job, including the Dallas Cowboys. All right. I don't think this is good news, really, for Deion Sanders. I think it's doing him a disservice. And to Deion Sanders' credit, okay, I'm not putting this. Deion has said nothing about coaching the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, he is locked in on this season. You know, whether let's say he really does have aspirations of coaching Dallas Cowboys, he's kept it quiet. Okay, he's shut it all down. Okay, like he said he's happy there and everything, as he should. You know, he can't have the outside noise and people being a mouthpiece for him, trying to promote him to this Dallas Cowboys job. All right, that being said, I love Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin's a great guy, good dude. Okay, but he's been the biggest hype man right now on the media circuit, or at least I think he was on the Colin Cowherd show, and he said Irvin was asked whether Sanders would consider taking the Cowboys coaching job if the team were to draft his son, Shedeur Sanders, and he gave a very interesting answer. I believe 100% yes. And I can tell you, good sources have told me that. Irvin said, great sources have told me that. That's all I can say without violating anything else. Oh, man. See, man, and that's the problem, right? I mean, it's Irvin, right? I mean, if anybody's more plugged in to the Dallas Cowboys than anyone else, is Michael Irvin, right? But there's so many problems with this because it's like, and everybody's talked about this, and they signed Dak to that crazy contract, and the Cowboys probably wish they would have held off on that, honestly. If the Cowboys didn't sign Dak Prescott, okay, then you know what, there could be some truth to that. So now they're talking about bringing Deion Sanders if they get Shedeur Sanders in. Number one, I mean, the Cowboys got to be lucky to think that Shedeur Sanders would even fall in a position, depending on how this season ends, if he would even land in an area where they can draft him. And if not, are they willing to trade up? You know, most likely they're going to have a top 10, maybe top 5 draft pick. They're going to have to move up, you know, if he doesn't land. Okay, expending more resources as opposed to building what you already have with Dak. You know what I'm saying? But this talk is not good, man. I mean, look, at the moment Deion started getting some success, especially this season, now the talk is Dallas Cowboys, right? And his son. I mean, that to pull that package deal off it almost seems damn near impossible. You know what I'm saying? Bringing Deion Sanders in, then being able to draft Shedeur Sanders. I mean, there's possibly, look, there's teams could leapfrog the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot. I mean, there's just so much to consider. And for Irvin to sit there and be like, he believes that 100%. I mean, okay, fine. If he says that, fine. But why would the Cowboys draft Shedeur Sanders, though? It doesn't make any financial benefits to do so, you know, unless you're ready to move on from Dak, right? And Dak's contract doesn't kick in this season, it kicks in next season. So this is just pie in the sky. So I don't know. So, I mean, and if maybe Irvin believes in a fantasy that if all things were perfect, sure, right? But even this type of rhetoric, it doesn't help. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't help Shedeur himself. Doesn't help Deion Sanders himself. As, you know, they got a big game against Kansas who upset BYU, right? They got to focus on that. Okay? And they are. Okay, there's still a lot of football left for Deion Sanders and company to accomplish this season. Even though they've done more than enough, even though Deion Sanders has done more than enough, he has turned the football program around completely. They're not a laughing stock. They're not a joke. They're going to be in a bowl game at minimum this year. And now that the icing on top is getting bigger and bigger in terms of, could they win out in the Big 12? Could they beat BYU in the Big 12 championship? And could they go ahead and enter the college football playoffs, man? You know what I'm saying? So all this is setting the stage for a very interesting postseason for Deion Sanders. But right now, this Cowboy talk is just getting crazier and crazier, and it's just adding to the circus. Look, I don't have a problem with Deion Sanders if he does take the job. I don't mind it. If he wants a job, cool. He's more equipped to deal with that than anybody else. But, also to land his son as well, too, is a little far-fetched. But all this conversation right now it's a little premature, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? While Deion Sanders is in the midst of trying to do something really great at Colorado. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this, man. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.